Hello, and today's co-creative agreement is number 3, follow my guidance. I agree to attune with spirit and follow the calling of my soul on behalf of the well-being of the whole. And this is such an amazing agreement because it really shifts the paradigm for me in terms of leadership. And first comes our self-leadership, to be able to be our own mom and dad and be able to direct ourselves to the decisions and that serve us personally best. And what's really special about that law of how that works, that when we follow our personal guidance, we will know what's best for us, is very special to me because it also works with the best for the whole. And when we follow our inner guidance, the heart is so intelligent that it knows not only what's best for you, but what is best for the whole. And we really are training ourselves to be able to co-create with others when we follow our own guidance, and we train ourselves on how to do that, which is no easy task, especially when we've been trained for most of our lives growing up that we always look to an external source for wisdom, for knowledge, for education. And when it comes to our personal affairs, including body, mind, emotions, energy, and spirit, our heart, our inner guidance is going to have the best information for all of us. So that is my 2 cents on this agreement, which has to do with following our guidance. If we want to learn to co-create, we must learn to follow that guidance, which is key in the practice of co-creation. Thank you.
You can analyze the red rose behind me, and you can analyze my DNA, but you will never find the reason why I am blooming and maybe touching you when you look at me. I feel like blooming if there is a rose or an animal or a human being around me. I'm guided by nature and my heart. My inner guidance is unintentional. It is just me who decides what to do next. Often I do not feel that it's me deciding it, but I'm sure that it's a good decision for me and for the other people around me and for the world. That is a very important feeling to broaden the idea of co-creation.
When I was a child, I was definitely not encouraged to follow my guidance. In fact, just the contrary. I was encouraged to listen to my teachers, listen to my parents, and to follow the guidance of my elders. But about 25 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. And anyone who has had that experience knows that one of the things that happens is that in addition to the doctors and the healers, you start getting a lot of loving advice from your friends and family members. And when you're facing cancer, which can be a life and death issue, you learn that very quickly that you really do have to follow your own inner guidance. And so that's what I did. And it became very clear to me when someone would suggest, oh, you should go to the Philippines. There's an incredible healer there. And there were so many of these loving suggestions that I realized very quickly I had to tune in for myself. I had to look within and find what resonated with me. And I did that. And for 25 years, I have been in remission. I haven't had cancer. So that was a very good teacher for me. So after that, it became an everyday practice that whenever I have a question, something I need to resolve for myself, to just take a moment to center myself, maybe take a couple of full breaths and ask. And the guidance may come either within myself, it may just be a deep knowing, or perhaps there's even a sign from the outside, something that maybe I'm led to a certain book, or I'm led to a certain CD or something like that. So I have learned for the last many decades that following my guidance is the best way for me to make my decisions and to steer the course of my life. Thank you.
To attune with spirit means to me to attune with spirit the whole day long. And in order to do this, I have a strong meditation and Qigong practice. I practice every day. And I go into nature and enjoy nature deeply also every day. I center me many times a day, just for some moments to stay connected with myself and to have space for listening to my soul's calling. I hear the calling of my soul for sacred connectedness. I could experience during my life that the suffering of humans has a lot to do with not being connected with themselves. We are so often not connected with ourselves. And if we are not connected with ourselves, then we are also not connected, or we don't have the capacity to connect deeply with others, and we can also not be connected with nature. And so the sacred connectedness means to me to co-create with others non-judgmental sacred spaces where all the parts which are alive in us, we can connect to all these parts so that they can live, that they are loved, are healed and transformed if necessary, so that love and the divine of each person can live and unfold herself more and more into oneness. So the connectedness, the sacred connectedness, means to be connected with everything which is alive in us. The nice things, the difficult things, and the divine which is alive in every one of us. So this I understand as a calling from my soul on behalf of the well-being of the whole. Thank you so much.
Following the inner guidance is a gratifying step. I have experienced it very intensively in my profession. After my studies, I worked with 3 different IT companies. And 13 years later, I left my job. Why? I was ill, overstrained, and resigned. After a recovery phase of almost 1 year, I could feel myself again and knew suddenly that I want to work with people. New trainings followed and I started my own business. Also, my family was very skeptical that this will be functioning. I felt safe and guided on my way. Everything went easily and gave me much joy. Today, 20 years later, I am always grateful to my inner guidance. I haven't regretted one single day.